my friends. I hope you're having an outstanding day, a fabulous day. I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate that. And I want to thank you for subscribing. And if you have not subscribed, please, boom, smash that subscribe button. Click on the like, click on the bell. And for all my friends who don't know this, yes, I sound like a broken record. Subscribing is free, doesn't cost you anything. This is a Google product, so you are anonymous. Nobody knows that you subscribe. Nobody knows that you like my videos. So please subscribe. And if you comment, that would actually be a bonus. I'd love that as well. But I appreciate you watching. I hope you get something out of this. Today's topic, it's going to be another legal topic, and it's going to be a very brief synopsis of property rights. And I have been asked these questions that we're going to focus on more than any other legal real estate question in 21 years of selling real estate and nearly 30 years of practicing law. So we're going to get to that number one question with a variety of how it's phrased and how it's come up shortly. But property rights. So your property, what do you own? Your property line, you own theoretically to the center of the earth, up to the heavens. However, do you really own all that? Let's talk about up to the heavens. You own straight up your property lines up to usable airspace. So what is that? A few hundred feet? Maybe less. What is the significance of this? It always comes up mostly with people ask me questions about trees. My neighbor's tree. My neighbor's tree is overhanging my property. My neighbor's tree looks like it's going to fall and hit my shed. My neighbor's tree has fallen and hit my shed. And I've also heard my neighbor's tree has hit my house. And so they also always say, if they haven't resolved the issue yet, here's a perfect example. One of my friends said, my neighbor's tree fell and crushed my shed and they will not pay for it. And I said, call your homeowner's insurance company. And they said, well, I want their homeowner's insurance company to pay for it. And I was like, that's not how the law works in Maryland. Another one of my friends at one point said, hey, my neighbor's tree branch fell and damaged my house. And when I asked for their homeowner insurance, they said no. And I called my insurance company. My insurance company said that they were going to take care of it, but I didn't really want to do that. And I said, in Maryland, that's how it works. And then in another instance, this has happened a few times as well, my friend has come to me and said, my neighbor's tree's hanging over my property. I hate it because it's dropped leaves and the birds and the bird poop. And if it ever falls, it's going to damage my property. What can I do? And so I always say most practical advice is talk to your neighbor about trimming it. Talk to your neighbor about having your neighbor trim the tree. If it's not real big, obviously talk to your neighbor about you trimming it. And so this is how the law works. Your property line goes straight up. Your neighbor's tree's hanging over it. You can legally cut what's hanging over your property line. When you do that, you do have to be aware of there's statutes in Maryland that if you kill someone's tree, you could be responsible for the replacement cost damages. So you trim their tree and it dies, they might be able to say, you owe me a new tree. First thing, talk to your neighbor. Second thing, yes, you can dub it. You can trim straight up your property line, anything overhanging. I've actually done that to my neighbor because it overhangs, and when I ride my tractor, it gets in my way. So I've dubbed all the branches hanging over my fence and then threw them back in the woods. If your neighbor's tree falls, squashes your shed, hits your house, are they liable? No. Notwithstanding, if maybe a little nuance, if everybody knew the tree was dead and it was leaning that way, and a reasonable person would say, I should remove this tree before something happens, maybe. But in general, no. Their tree, in the instances that I've told you about, that neighbor's insurance company doesn't get involved, and that neighbor is not responsible. In Maryland, it's your insurance company that takes care of the issue, which really, honestly, is kind of bad for you because you can be penalized for making that claim, which that's going to be another video about insurance, homeowners insurance, and auto insurance. But the neighbor's tree, here's a perfect example too. My former neighbor ran drain lines for all the downspouts and ran them right alongside my fence, and they just he dug down and he cut the he cut the roots of the tree and dug out from the tree. I said to him, I said, Ken, you've just undermined that tree, and the tree was already leaning to my playground set and fence. I was like, Ken, you undermine the roots of that tree. Now, when we get a lot of rain, that tree's going to fall. And he goes, I'm going to fill it in, which in my mind, I was like, you don't even have a dry well. You don't even have a spot to really properly catch the water, but whatever. It's not going to bother me. I already had my yard set up so that any water from his yard would go into a drain system that I already created. Anyway, I was waiting for that tree to fall because I was like, man, I hope that tree falls and crushes my play set, because my kids are older. They didn't play on the play set. I wanted to get rid of that play set. I looked online. It was going to be about $12,000 to replace that play set. And I was like, even pay my deductible, I'm going to make out like a bandit on this one. Please tree fall, please tree fall, please tree fall. And then lo and behold, we had a horrible storm. I think they called it a derecho or whatever, just an incredible windstorm. And it actually blew a bunch of trees down in my other neighbor's yard and in the woods behind my fence. And in the morning, I got up and I looked out the window, and that tree was still standing there, still leaning to my playground set. And I was brushing my teeth, and I was like, I can't believe that tree did not fall. And I turned around from that window, and I heard this, and I turned around real fast, and this is the truth. That tree literally fell 180 degrees the other way, and it just missed Ken's shed. So it was going to my playground set. When I turned around, it was already almost on the ground the opposite way. And I just said to myself, I looked up and I said, Lord, you always have a plan. So that playground set is still there. And so the moral of the story, I was hoping that tree would crush the play set. I was going to make a claim of my insurance. Ken might have been responsible, but probably not. Act of God. And so that's how the law works in Maryland. So neighbor's trees hanging over. If it looks like it's an issue, talk to your neighbor. You are allowed to cut up with your property line. The other thing that comes up every now and then, I really have not heard too much from any of my friends, but I've seen this before on YouTube, and that is with water rights. So you have a waterfront property on navigable water, meaning a waterway that is flowing and the boats go on, flows through your property, or you butt up to a river, ocean, or whatever. And so in general, the law says your property lines go straight on out into the water up until when the Army Corps of Engineers says it's navigable water where boats can come in, they need to come and go at their safety. But you do not own the land under the water, and you don't own the water. So you look outside, you look at your pier and you see people fishing by your pier, they can do that. You see people swimming out in front of your property, yeah, they can do that. I tell you where it really comes up now a lot, and that is in Baltimore County, where the Gunpowder River flows through farmland, and everybody goes up to Baltimore County, the Gunpowder River, and tubes and kayaks and canoes in warm weather. So the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, besides all the rules and regulations, has like a little friendly reminder and all their information with regards to the parks, like, hey, please be respectful and don't get out of your kayak, don't get out of your canoe, don't get out of your tube and go onto the bank, because it doesn't belong to you. So you can go through on the lazy river flow on the Gunpowder, because people don't own the water, but they do own the land that the water flows through. So that's just a little quickie about water rights. And then the last thing I'll say is this. When it comes to trespassing in Maryland, in general, people have to be warned not to trespass with visible signs at the point of entry where it's most likely logical that somebody would cross, or verbally told, hey, get off my property. Now, there are exceptions if you're going to hunt or fish, use your ATV. I'm back. My GoPro got hot and shut off. I actually might buy a DJI because this GoPro really sucks. I was talking about trespassing, and so can't go through the farmer's crops, can't hunt and fish ATV on other people's properties regardless. You need written permission. But in general, you have to be warned about no trespassing before you could get in trouble. So you run through someone's yard, that's okay. You turn around someone's driveway, yeah, that's okay. And another little tidbit, which a lot of people don't know, some people do know. If you see green road signs, green Lilac Lane, that's a public road. If you see a blue road sign, Lilac Lane, that's private. So in Maryland, green street signs, public, blue, private. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please, if you haven't, smash the subscribe, check off the like, check off the bell, tell your friends, little tidbit here, little tidbit here. Go watch Bruce. He's doing some pretty good videos. And I hope you got something out of it. And again, thank you all. I love you all. See ya.